To get their elderly father back home may soon get help from the state. Just weeks after a Contact 13 investigation, the Nevada Attorney General is hearing from families who believe they've been victimized by a court that's supposed to protect the most vulnerable. Contact 13 Chief Investigator Darcy Spears has more on who's now getting involved.
Darcy, they're being torn apart.
That's what Rick Black says of families caught up in Clark County's guardianship system. It's something he and his wife Terry have been shouting from the rooftops for years.
This has been one of the most difficult experiences of my life.
After Contact 13 first aired their story in February, they say someone is finally listening to their allegations of elder abuse and exploitation. They've talked to the sheriff's office and met with the district attorney.
If they don't get involved in it at that point and they don't, pick up the ball and roll with it, then he at the Attorney General's office would look into and review the matter.
They're hoping the Attorney General's office will hear from more families who've tried and failed to get help from local authorities.
This isn't an isolated case. I've interviewed over 32 families that have lost over $16 million over the last 5 years, and they never got the chance to protect their loved ones. This court consistently removes those wards from family and drains those estates.
Guardianship is when somebody can't take care of themselves physically or financially, so they become a ward of the state. In family court, a person is appointed and essentially given control over all aspects of the ward's money and life. Terry's father, Del Mancarelli, is caught up in the system.
Terry's dad didn't want, at this point, 65 to 70% of his estate to be wasted in less than a year and given to third-party guardians, lawyers.
Dell's court-appointed guardian has been criminally charged with misusing his money, but the family court has left her in charge. Terry wants to take her dad back home to North Carolina and wants the court to stop fighting her efforts to care for him.
Terry and her father have had the most respectful, loving relationship that I've ever seen in my lifetime. And to think that someone, a stranger, can jump in and say, well, that isn't what he wanted, even though all of his documents said that's what he wanted.
We spoke to family court judge Charles Hoskin in February.
We're trying to protect the ward. And a lot of times that's going to cause someone else in that spectrum to feel like they weren't dealt with correctly.
The Blacks are also taking their concerns to state lawmakers. Proposed bills to address alleged guardianship system failures could be introduced before the end of this month. Terry and Rick say the Attorney General's interest and lawmakers' actions are the first sign of hope after a years-long emotional battle.
And it is something I don't want another Clark County resident or person in this country to go through.
If you believe you have evidence of guardianship system abuses, we would like to hear about it. Send us an email to 13investigates@ktnv.com and go to our website to see my previous stories and for more information on how to get your evidence to law enforcement. In the newsroom, Darcy Spears, Channel 13 Action News.
The Clark County Family Court responded to Action News about this story, saying the court is mindful of any and all concerns regarding guardianship cases and the well-being of wards. The court is constantly exploring better ways to monitor guardian compliance. However, we are prohibited from conducting investigations. If the legislature chooses to revise any statutes, the court will apply them once they become law.
A Contact 13